Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well. So, in this video today, what I'm gonna be talking about are a set of things. So, do you also find yourself being stuck into your head in a way and you just name it like, okay, wait, I have a set of consecutive thoughts, then it just means that I'm overthinking. But how I want to ask you guys, like, how do you really define overthinking? Because what I think where you guys interpret overthinking as is just not being able to let go of a particular thought. But do you really think if you don't really think about that thought, would you be over would you be able to overcome it? Like, would you be able to find solutions for that major issue that you have been overthinking? Or would you really be able to let it go if you just don't think about it? The thing is that I get so annoyed when I hear somebody say that, oh, wait, I think you're just overthinking. Don't overthink. How do you know I'm overthinking or I'm just simply thinking and you just lack the ability to think? Like, how do you expect for me to sit and have an issue in my mind and just not completely think about it, or to find solutions about it and to solve it, or to have my own opinions about it? Because that's just normal rationality. Like, I'm being rational here, like I'm thinking about a set of things which you never even bothered to think. That's why you have unresolved trauma. So I don't get it. Like, people just diagnose you, they come up to you and they're like, oh, you're overthinking, don't do that. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what's overthinking. You don't know what's going on in my head. And the same thing, I hate when you guys do it to your own selves too. Like, when you have a set of consecutive thoughts, you just go in your head and you're like, wait, why am I thinking too much? I'm just overthinking, I'm gonna let it go. No, that is why you have unresolved trauma. This is how you form unresolved trauma. This, I have noticed this thing, that people have this tendency to just ignore it and forget it. That's just not how it works. It's gonna sit in your mind no matter how much you try to ignore it. It's still gonna be there no matter how much you force it to forget it. You will never be able to forget it. If there is a word, for example, if okay, I'm just gonna give my example now. Like, people used to call me fat and ugly when I was a child. Well, but if somebody just passes this word out in front of me, like somebody calls another person fat or ugly, I just go back into my head, into back in the days when people used to call that to me and how I used to feel, and I just feel super offended for that person. Like, how did you call them that? Like, and also, not this, it happens with me. Like, I would tend to project my own insecurities on other people. I would tend to call them fat as well. Like, this bipolar mindset does create, if I do not solve my trauma, it's always going to be there no matter how much I say, no, I overcame that, I don't give a shit, like, you can call me fat right now, I don't really care about it. I would care about it. I just wouldn't know it. That is unresolved trauma. But again, if I sit in here and I sit with the thought that, wait, people used to call me fat and ugly and shit, and I try to cure it, I lose weight, I maybe just do my makeup right, do my hair right and everything, and manifest my beauty or whatever, and I come up with these solutions, and I then sit with the thought that, wait, I used to have this traumatic experience of people calling me fat and ugly, I just don't really feel good about it, what should I do about it, this isn't good. Then there has to be a certain amount of sadness that thing would be causing me, so I sit with that sadness for a while, and for as long as it takes, I let that sadness go away. For that, in the future, it wouldn't come back to me running. Like, I let the whole amount of sadness deplete. Like, I sit with the sadness right now, even if it takes me like 3 days, I sit with it for 3 days, and after the 3 days, I have overcame it. Like, I'm completely past it. I wouldn't be projecting my insecurities on other people, or I wouldn't be feeling bad for other people if somebody calls them fat or ugly, because I'm past it, because I just don't care about it. But of course, out of like humanity, I would still feel bad for the people who are being bullied, but it wouldn't be coming from my own personal past traumas. It would be coming from sympathy. Like, it would be coming from humanity, not a place of insecurity, if you're understanding what I mean. And this is how you solve things. You sit with the sadness, you sit with the feelings that it's causing you, and you just don't neglect them, because the more you neglect, the more it's gonna submerge into yourself, the more it's gonna gather itself up into yourself, and you wouldn't even notice it. It would come out in your relationships, it would come out in your conversations or in your thought processes or in your future circumstances. God forbid, it could ruin everything for you if you just want to ignore that sadness. That is why when people say ignorance is bliss, it's not bliss. Ignorance is a curse. You shouldn't ignore a thing. Okay, I'm not telling you to, if you're being bullied right now, let's just take an example. I'm not telling you to sit with that bulliness feeling right now with your heart and you just like, I'm being bullied right now, I hate my life. That would put you into straight up depression. I want you to cure that. I want you to move out. I want you to, if you're being bullied on your phone, just shut your phone down, shut your laptop down, delete the group chat. If you're being bullied in your school, fight back for yourself. Because I have seen when I was getting bullied, I was so pathetic. I thought that they were all bullying me because I'm very ugly and because I'm really fat. So I just thought that it's justifiable to bully me. But that is not the case. So if you're being bullied right now, I don't want you to sit with a thought, right, where I'm being bullied, I hate my life, it sucks. That would cause you deepest depression and misery. You're just causing yourself own trouble. Like, that's what that person wants you to do. That person wants you to get so worse and bad into your life because they're threatened by you. That person is just threatened by your potential. That person sees it in you. They're like, wait, this person could be so much better, I'm just gonna bring them down and like ruin their self-esteem and ruin their day. I just hate this person a lot because they're so perfect. Like, think in that way. Anyways, so after you have cured your bullying, you're in this state where everything feels better for you in your life. Then I want you to sit with this thought that, wait, I got bullied, does that affect me in any way right now? Like, am I doing okay? I want you to ask yourself, if I want you to ask your past self if everything, if how, like, how's it doing after you have solved the bullying, like how does it feel? And then it's gonna answer you. And then with that thought, I want you to overthink about that. I want you to like let's just not call it overthinking, because the concept of overthinking, even if you Google overthinking, it's gonna give you some sort of negativity, like overthinking is this or that, a disorder and shit like that. Let's just call it thinking, because what is the difference between overthinking and thinking? I just don't understand. I think people in their life do not think at all. Like, I really think that way, that people have stopped thinking. Like, people just don't want to think. They want to ignore everything and they want everything to work for their own selves and just not think about anything. I feel like that. I feel like people are too much focused on the actions. People are not giving a shit about thinking. Like, people just don't want to think about things. And we are so obsessed with actions is what I'm trying to say. People are just not thinking, and this is the most depressive part about today's society, that we really need to think. We really need to get away from the actions for a bit and actually think. And I also feel like that the way that science has took us away from thinking in a way, because scientific approaches are too much confined into their own laws. Science has took us away from thinking in a way, because we always think that our mind is confined like the walls of science. Like, if there is a law, then this is a law and I'm not going to think about it. The moment you think about the law, you break your bubble and you're like, wait, this is how these things are connected. This is not just a law, it's more than that. It's not just a law of, it's not just a science of law, it's a science of creativity. It's a science of connecting things together, and then you understand the law. It feels like people have theoretized their lives a lot. I don't know if it's even a word, what am I even saying? Theoretized, like theoretically, I think people have theoretically ruined their lives. They have made everything theory. Like, if I want to, okay, I want to do this one thing. I want to imagine a picture of like a scenery in your head, and I want you to just look at that picture without naming anything. Do not name the house, do not name this clouds, just look at it, and you recognize that there is a thing other than language, there's a thing other than words, there's a thing other than not thinking, because you're actually thinking about the place without naming everything, and at this point you're aware about it, and that is pure awareness, when you're not putting everything into theory. If I love the nature, then I love the nature. I don't love that, oh, clouds look this certain way, that is why I love looking at the clouds, or the clouds look like something I could eat and I'm very hungry, so I love the cloud. Like, I'm not gonna theorize everything. Not everything is meant to be put into words. And whatever you cannot put into words, let it pass into silence. Because silence is also a language. And that is why it's important for you to think. It's important for everybody else to think, because people are so ignorant in their lives. They're so busy with their actions, they're so busy doing their 9 to 5s, they're so busy doing their schooling lives, they're so busy studying or grind set culture. I really despise this grind set culture because it's really taking you away from yourself. Have you ever have you ever sat back and like thought with yourself? Have you ever okay, I don't want you to look at me like I'm a crazy person, but have you ever talked to yourself? Like, have you ever asked yourself, like, okay, how was I feeling today, the whole day? Like, why was I feeling this certain way at this certain second? And like, you ask your loved ones about their day every day, like, how was your day, sweetheart? Did you enjoy the day? But did you ever ask that to yourself? Like, did you ever treat yourself as your lover? Do you not love yourself enough or something? Like, that sucks. I feel sorry for you, because you shouldn't be doing that to yourself. It sucks. Life like that is not a life. It's like you're programmed to do something. You're no better than AI. Then why are you hating on AI now? Because you're AI yourself. You've been programming your own self your whole life, and now you're just an AI. You programmed your own self, into being inhumane, and you're not even human right now. You're acting like a theoretically implied robot. Like, you're programmed to do this at this certain point of time and just doing that action without even thinking about the action. I'm just doing something without thinking about that something. Well, I get it that people avoid thinking just because they think that, oh, it's gonna harm my daily flow of life, or if I think that I won't be able to do this task, I won't be able to complete this and that, like I won't be able to do my 9 to 5 if I just sit back and think it's just a waste of time, and rather I'm gonna just go and pursue the money, or the 9 to 5 grind that has been hurting me, or the business that has been giving me a headache, or neglect the family that I deeply love and you know treasure, because I feel like there's a lot of time in my life. But then you die in a fucking car accident and you just never knew yourself the whole life. You never even knew what your family liked. You never even talked to your family. You never even got to spend the money that you have been saving up your ass. Is that the life you want to live, or do you actually want to live a life where you know who you are, and rather I'm gonna just go and pursue the money, or the 9 to 5 grind that has been hurting me, or the business that has been giving me a headache, or neglect the family that I deeply love and live a good life while talking to yourself, while actually thinking about things before doing them. My biggest fear is not knowing who I am. I don't understand how people live without knowing anything about themselves. I went on a date with a guy once, and I asked him, like, I asked him to just simply describe himself, and he was like, "Wait, how would I describe myself? That's for somebody else to describe me. Like, the life goes on this way. Like, people describe you. You cannot describe yourself." I was like, "Are you being for real right now?" And I blocked him the next day, because the people who don't think about themselves, who don't talk to themselves, or people just don't know themselves, are like waste to me. Like, what are you even doing in your life if you're not talking to yourself? If you're not talking to yourself, you don't even care about yourself, so how do you care about me? I just don't understand that part. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, I just want to let you all know that if somebody tells you that your thought process is that, oh wait, don't overthink about this, just let it be, you're not even gonna think about it in the next 10 years, they just hate you. They just don't give a shit about you, or they just don't care about themselves. They hate everything, and you should stop hanging out with them. I'm never telling you to take stresses about random things. Stress, I just told you to avoid stress. Like, if you're in the stress phase, I told you to focus on the action. But once you're out of the stress phase, I want you to focus on yourself. I want you to reward yourself with some silence, because that's just how it should be working. You should never. I think there's a need for a perfect balance between action and thinking. You cannot only rely on action, you cannot only rely on doing things. You have to rely even on thinking about things, or thinking about yourself, or thinking about knowing the nature of things rather than pursuing them blindly, is what I have realized in my life. And I think if the moment that I started thinking, it changed my life. It changed every aspect of my life for the best. And I started loving. I never knew the concept of love. I always thought that love is just not meant for me because I never could feel that feeling. I mean, I had love all around me. People were loving me, my parents were loving me, but I just couldn't feel it because I was never thinking about it. Only I put it into words. I never tried to understand it. I let it pass by into words. That I love you. Okay, love is a word. I said it, done. No, I never felt it. I never thought about it. I never sat back and and thought about it like this is the love that I feel for that person. Like this is how this love is feeling and this is how I feel, or this is how the person feels to me. And this is not overthinking. It's merely looking. It's like viewing. You know, it's like using your senses. It's like listening. It's like viewing. It's like talking. It's like breathing. It's like touching. It's like that. I want you to understand it that way. It's not overthinking. You're not overdoing anything. You're just doing what should be done. You're just doing what you're here to do. You're just doing what you always do. So yeah, that was it for today. So if you like the video, I wanted to go and check out more videos, and I want you to drop some queries or doubts that you might have onto my Instagram, or you could just write it down in the comment section. I try to answer those as well in my YouTube videos that I create. And you could also recommend me some subliminal ideas and requests also. I'm open for that, like in my Instagram. So hit me up. And yeah, start thinking.